Stop scrolling for a second. I need to say something directly to you. You woke up today, and somewhere between checking your phone and going about your day, a thought crossed your mind. Maybe it was loud. Maybe it was just a whisper in the background, but it was there. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And you've been carrying that thought for a while now, haven't you? Not just today, not just this week, for months, maybe years. This feeling that everyone around you is moving forward, getting promoted, getting married, buying homes, building businesses, while you're standing still, or worse, falling behind. And the hardest part isn't even the circumstances. The hardest part is the shame that comes with it. The part where you don't want to talk about it, where you smile and say, "I'm good," when someone asks, where you scroll in silence at 1 a.m., comparing your entire life to a stranger's best moment. I know that feeling, and I want to tell you something today that I genuinely wish someone had told me sooner. You are not behind, not even close. And in the next few minutes, I am going to show you exactly why. Not with empty motivation, not with feel-good quotes, but with a perspective so clear that by the time this video ends, that voice in your head is going to sound a lot quieter. Stay with me, because this one matters. Let's start at the root of the problem. Why do you feel behind in the first place? It is not because you are lazy. It is not because you lack talent. It is not because something is fundamentally wrong with you. It is because somewhere along the way, you were handed a timeline that was never yours to begin with. Graduate by 22, stable career by 25, relationship by 27, married by 30, kids, savings, promotions, all of it by a certain age, in a certain order, on a certain schedule. And here is the question nobody ever stopped to ask. Who wrote that timeline? Because it was not written for your life, it was not written for your background, your family situation, your city, your opportunities, or the economic reality your generation is actually living inside of. You are a generation carrying the highest student debt in history, a housing market that makes ownership feel almost impossible, a job market that demands 5 years of experience for entry-level positions, a cost of living that rises every year while salaries stay the same. You are running a race with extra weight on your back and then feeling ashamed for not keeping up with people who started unburdened. That is not failure. That is an unfair system. The timeline you were given was designed for a different era, a different economy, a different world entirely. Measuring your life against it is like judging yourself for not fitting into clothes that were never made in your size. So let it go. That checklist was never yours. Now, let's talk about the thing that makes all of this so much worse: social media. Every single post you see that makes you feel small is not real life. It is a performance of real life. That promotion announcement does not show the 2 years of being passed over before it. That vacation photo does not show the credit card statement that followed. That perfect couple picture does not show the argument they had that morning. That confident entrepreneur post does not show the nights of crushing self-doubt behind the screen. What you're seeing is the final scene of a movie with no context for everything that came before it. And you're comparing that polished final scene to your raw, unedited behind-the-scenes reality. That's not a fair comparison. That's not even a real comparison. Here's the truth about the person whose life looks the most perfect to you right now. Tonight, they will lie in bed, open their phone, look at someone else's life, and feel exactly what you're feeling in this moment. This is the comparison trap, and it has no exit unless you make a decision to stop playing. Because the game is rigged. There will always be someone ahead of you on whatever metric you choose, always someone with more money, more success, more milestones, more of whatever thing you're measuring yourself against. The only move that actually wins is stepping off the board entirely. Your life is not a competition, it's a story, and the only opinion of that story that will ever truly matter is yours. Now, I want to actually show you the evidence. Think back to who you were 5 years ago. The place you were living, the problems you were carrying, the fears that felt overwhelming, the times you didn't know yet. Now look at today. Are you carrying the same problems? Some, yes, but many of them gone, solved, survived, outgrown. Think about the hard moments you've been through, the situations you were convinced you couldn't handle, the times everything fell apart and you didn't know how you were going to get through it. You got through it. Every single time. You have a 100% survival rate on your worst days. Let that actually land. That's not a small thing. That's evidence of something real built inside you. A resilience that was not given to you. It was forged through difficulty, through loss, through failure, through getting back up when everything in you said stay down. And that growth is invisible on the outside. Nobody posts about the morning they finally stopped letting someone who was hurting them back in. Nobody announces the day they chose themselves after years of putting everyone else first. Nobody gets a standing ovation for surviving a season of life that nearly broke them. But it happened. It's real. It's in you right now. And it's worth more than any milestone you think you've missed. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40 years old. Samuel L. Jackson got his breakthrough role at 43 after decades of struggle. J.K. Rowling was a single mother on government assistance, writing in a coffee shop because she couldn't afford to heat her apartment. 12 publishers rejected her before one said yes. Nobody remembers when they started. The world only remembers what they built. And your building is not finished, not even close. So let me say this to you directly. Wherever you are right now, whatever age, whatever stage, whatever situation, you are allowed to still be figuring it out. You are allowed to change direction completely. You are allowed to start over. You are allowed to take longer than everyone around you. You are allowed to define success on your own terms, not the terms handed to you by people who don't have to live your life. That's not being behind. That's being brave enough to live a life that is actually yours. Here's what I want you to carry with you after this. Stop measuring your chapter 3 against someone else's chapter 20. Stop letting a highlight reel make you feel like your real life isn't enough. Stop carrying a timeline that was built for a world that no longer exists. Look at where you started. Look at what you've survived. Look at who you've become through all of it. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not running out of time. You are a real person living a real, complicated, meaningful life, and you're doing better than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. And from exactly where you're standing right now, you get to decide what comes next. Take that seriously, because that is not a small thing. That is everything. If this video spoke to you, share it with one person who needs to hear it today. And if this is the kind of content you want every single week, subscribe and hit the bell. This community is built for people who are serious about their growth. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.